Guitar fretboard study part 2. I'm going to follow up with from the part 1 and explain, or at least work with you to explain a little bit more about patterns and the identifying the third in the chord formula of the 1 and the 3, and show you how to work that out. This is the recap from part 1, which I will now kind of go through once again. I wanted to make clear some patterns here. Now, if we take the key of G once again, and we work through the program here. And now remember, this is standard tuning: E, A, D, G, B, E. Please watch part 1. I go through this again, but I just want to recap this lesson, so that to show you again how fast, or what should be a normal study practice for you to identify any note on the fretboard. Okay, and with this, I want to underline some patterns, some other patterns, and group them in pairs, similar pairs and unique pairs. Okay. This is the key of G. I like to follow up with the open, circling the open string as well, too, as the root note. This is a root note, and this is going to be in standard tuning. So, just to recap, this is chord formulas, and they are in minors. Just check out my previous video. I show these chord formulas. But anyway, so now we've identified all the root notes on this fretboard, and I just want to identify some pairs of similar patterns. Here is a pair of similar patterns, which you should learn and identify. Okay, you'll work these out. There's plenty of other videos on the internet that shows you how to figure this out. But just as an overall, here's one pair of similar patterns. Another pair of similar patterns is this one and this one. Pair of similar patterns. Okay, another pair of similar patterns is this one and this one. Okay, so that's 3 pairs of similar patterns in just this reference right here. Okay. Unique patterns, there are only 2 unique patterns. Will be this pattern here and this pattern here. Okay, so just to recap, just to make sure that now there's another language. I'm trying to introduce a language which is similar patterns and unique patterns. Let's do the key of A. Okay, we know that the A lies here. Here's a open A. For the root note, we're trying to identify and locate the root note on this fretboard, and we want to be able to do this very quickly. So there's one pattern, and here's another pattern. Well, okay, there's another pattern. That's a unique pattern. This is one of a pair of similar patterns. We then identify this one here, this pattern right here, and this pattern are a pair of similar patterns. This pattern here and this pattern here are another pair. That's two pairs right there. This is a unique pattern right here and a unique pattern right here. And then we identify another pair of similar patterns, which is one right here and one right here. Okay? And we have another pattern here and this unique pattern right here. So you get to start learning these patterns and start to learn the correct distance and the how to identify these. And it should be pretty, just go through, print out a bunch of these blanks and just go through it over and over and over again. Now, we're going to deal with the third. What is the third? The third is the second note in a chord formula. For the major, it's a third. For a minor, it will be a flat third. But let's just deal with the third. And the whole purpose of this video is to identify its location in reference to the 1. Okay? So if we use, again, the key of G, and we identify all the root notes, all the ones on this fretboard. I'll do this fairly quickly, just over and over. E, A, D, G, B, E. Okay. Now, where does the third reside on this fretboard? Well, if we take that, we know that this is a 2 and a 3 is there. Okay, so we have a 3 over here, and we know immediately that's a 3. Look at that. There's a pattern right there. Now, this pattern right here is a unique pattern. The 3 will always be in this location except for here, because there's a shift. We go from fourth to thirds, and because of that shift, we have to take that into account, and we have this pattern right here. But any other one, any other instance, you'll always have the third in this location. It's a given. Okay? Look at that. Isn't that interesting? Okay? Unless it's located, the root note is located on the G string, you'll only have that shift and you have it right there. But you have to memorize that and you'll have to work that out. But the third relative to the 1 and the 1 relative to the 3 will always be in these locations. So that's what I want to concentrate on today. We'll do a key of A. All right? And we know that the root notes live here. You got to go over and over and over. Work this out. E, A, D, G, B, E. Repetition. Okay? And here we have okay. So let's identify where the thirds will live. We have a third here. We have a third here, which brings another third automatically here because we follow the rules of this pattern right here. Okay, this pattern right here. This one here reveals that the third lives right here, and that forms a pattern right there. Okay, and then here's the proof of the pudding that on the shift, the third resides here because it follows this rule right here. But we have this pattern right here. We can bring this over here, which our third exists here, and our third exists here. And these are going to simplify your life tremendously because you won't have to be thinking about this. You'll just know that it's there. It's just a universal thing. It's the way it is. It never changes. This is a consistent pattern. This is a consistent truth about the fretboard in standard tuning. Okay? Now, we're talking regular standard tuning when your guitar is tuned. E, A, D, G, B, E. Okay? Because people are going to say, well, what about open tunings? Well, we're not dealing with that right now. We're dealing with this. Okay? So I just want to clarify and give you that information. Now, on here let's finish this out. And it's a no-brainer. I don't have to, oh, well, here's an exception. You see, I broke the rule right there. There's an exception. That the third resides there because the root note is on the G string. So there's a shift. In the key of A, you have more exposure to these two positions. As with in the key of G, there's only one exposure to it unless you go further up and down the neck, or we're in G, unless it's an open chord situation. But I'm just trying to show you how my logic is working with this. So relative to the root note, the 3 will be here. Relative to the third note, the 1 will be always in that position. You have to think it symmetrically. Think in terms of back and forth. If you're dealing with thirds and you want to play around with it, you know that the 1 is going to be in that position. If you're dealing with the root note and the third, you're dealing with the third in that position. You have to be flexible with the guitar to see things in a mirrored perspective. And I'm going to follow through with this in future videos with other concepts that I have with my mirrored theory of modes. But that's in a future videos. But first, let's get this under control. Now, if we want to go a little bit further, let's continue in the key of A, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to identify the A. We're going to follow through with this. Go through with our process of identifying the root notes, in this case A. And we're going to identify the thirds, and we know just right off the bat, and I take it, remember this, okay? Oh, there's a pattern we know that pattern. We know this pattern here, again, offset, and because we have that pattern that establishes it or affirms it, okay? This pattern right here, Plus, we know that the 1 and the 3 are offset this way like that. Boom, it should be pretty much a no-brainer after lots of practice. Now, here's another fun fact. Here's another pattern we can be looking at. We have to look in different ways of working the 1 and the 3. There's different ways of seeing where the 1 and the 3 lie. This is a pretty common one and familiar, but this is also one as well too. Let's think out of the box here, okay? Another 1 and a 3 is right here. It's another 1 and a 3. Another 1 and a 3, let's see, a 1 and a 3, there's one right here. Okay, it's a pretty unique pattern right here, and it repeats itself right here. So as we have, I've explained over here that there are 3 pairs of similar patterns in this case. There exists exactly the same amount of patterns using this theory as well too. And if you play these individual or double stops in this manner, you will find a world of fun. It's just incredible. You'll have a lot of fun playing with these double stops. And that's another future video I'm going to get into, is double stops and enjoying the tonal harmonies or the tonal qualities of playing double stops with this in mind. But this is the foundation. Start with this. Learn this first, and then we'll start getting into the chords. And now I'm gonna stop now, but the next part will be with the 5. Okay, so part 3 will be working with the 5. So we're working this slowly. Okay, and I hope this helped you and helps you kind of explore and expand your mindset on the fretboard and looking at it in a different way, because a lot of work can be done without having to break your head with musical theory. You just have to break this down into smaller pieces, and these are foundational understanding of the guitar fretboard and standard tuning in any key that will help with the future of building chords and understanding how chords are built. Okay? Keep practicing and practice. Okay, see you later. Bye.